Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Hey friend, welcome back. I am so glad you're here with me today. Every time you press play and join me, it feels like we're circling up together. Candles lit, energy shifting, a sacred space created just by showing up. And I don't take that lightly. So thank you for being here. Today, we're talking about something that I have learned to weave through everything I do, everything I teach, everything I practice. We are diving into the truth that words are spells. Now, when I say that, I don't just mean the mystical witchy sense, though it definitely is that. What I mean is that words quite literally shape our experience. They shape the way we see ourselves, the way we interact with others, and even the way we manifest in our lives. Every word is like a little vibration, a thread of energy being spun into a larger fabric of reality. And here's the thing. You've already experienced this, even if you've never thought of it as spell work. Think about a time when someone said something to you that you never forgot. Maybe it was uplifting, like you are so gifted or you have such a kind heart. Or maybe it was painful. A teacher who said, "You'll never be good at this." Or a parent who criticized you in a way that stuck. Those words didn't just vanish. They wove themselves into your sense of self. They became a part of the story that you tell about who you are. That's spell work. That's the magic of words. Let's even go deeper here. It's not just the words others speak to us, it's the words we speak to ourselves. The things we say silently in our own minds, that I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I don't have what it takes. Or on the flip side, it could be I am capable, I trust myself, and I am worthy. Those inner spells are even more powerful because they're repeated every single day. So today, I want to take you on a journey into the world of words. We're going to explore the spells that we're already under, the ways intention fuels our language, how our self-talk shapes our reality, and how we can bring spell work into our everyday lives in simple, practical, beautiful ways. And because you know I love weaving in quantum human design, we're going to look at a few different centers in our charts: the G center or heart center, the will, and the throat, and how they play a role in this very conversation. Because understanding your design can help you see why words feel so powerful to you and why some spells stick, and how you can reclaim the way you use your voice. So that's where we're going today. For now, take a breath. Really, I mean it. Do that with me. Inhale and exhale. Let yourself arrive here. Let yourself be open to the possibility that the next words you hear or the next words you speak could shift something in your life. That's how powerful this conversation is. All right, let's step into it. Let's talk about how words are spells. So, what do I really mean when I say that? If we look back through history across cultures, we see this truth over and over again. Words have always been seen as magical. Think about the incantations whispered around fires. Think about blessings offered before a meal. Think about prayers, mantras, affirmations. Think about oaths and vows that bind people together, whether in marriage, in community, or in sacred commitment. Even the word spell itself is interesting. To spell something means to shape it with letters, to bring sound into form. And at the same time, a spell is what we call it when we use words to weave magic. Those meanings aren't separate. They're the same root. That right there gives us something. Language and magic have always been inseparable. And even in our modern everyday lives, we are still living inside spells. A doctor delivering a diagnosis, that's a spell. A parent saying, "I'm proud of you," that is a spell. A teacher who once said, "You're not very good at that," that is a spell too. Words create identity. They create belief, and they create direction. I'll bet you have your own version of this. Pause for a second and think, what's a phrase that someone once said to you that you've never forgotten? Does it still echo in your mind sometimes? Does it shape the way you see yourself? That's the magic I'm talking about. And here's the beautiful part. It's not just mystical. Science actually backs this up. Words are vibration, and when we speak, we literally send out the sound waves that move through the air, hit someone else's ears, and ripple into their nervous system. Words change chemistry in our bodies. The way someone says your name, the tone of their voice, the phrase they choose, all of that can release hormones, shift your heart rate, and change how you feel in an instant. Think about the difference between someone whispering, "I love you," and someone yelling, "What's wrong with you?" Same mouth, same vocal cords, but the vibration is completely different. One spell opens your heart and the other closes it. So, when I say words are spells, I mean that every time we speak, every time we think, we're shaping reality. We're imprinting ourselves and each other with vibration and meaning, and we're constantly weaving magic, whether we're aware of it or not. That leads us to the first big question. What kinds of spells are we casting? Are they intentional, loving, empowering, or are they heavy, limiting, and destructive? Most of us are carrying both, if we're honest, which is why bringing awareness to our words is such an important practice. Because once we recognize that language is spell work, we can start choosing words more consciously. Here's a practice for you. Sometime today, pay attention to the words that come out of your mouth. Just notice them without judgment. Notice how often you complain, or how often you bless, how often you criticize, how often you uplift. It's not about shaming yourself. It's about awareness, because awareness is the first step to becoming a conscious spellcaster. And here's the thing. This isn't just my perspective or modern day spiritual trend. The idea that words are spells shows up across cultures and throughout history. In ancient Egypt, names were considered so powerful that to speak someone's true name was to hold influence over them. Indigenous traditions all over the world treat naming as a sacred ceremony. To speak the right words in the right way is to invite spirit, to call in a blessing, or to protect or to heal. Even in our everyday world, oaths and vows are modern spells. Think about marriage vows or swearing into public office. Those are words spoken aloud with witnesses present that shift reality from one moment to the next. When you look at it through this lens, you realize that we are the inheritors of a long line of word magic. Every time you speak, you're practicing in something ancient. Words have always been spells. They've always held the power to shape what's real. Now that we've established that words are spells, let's talk about what really fuels them. Intention. Words on their own are powerful, but words spoken with intention are magnetic. They carry an energy that goes beyond sound. They land in the body, they ripple into the field, and they begin to shape reality. Think about the difference between saying thank you because you feel like you should versus saying it while really looking someone in the eye with your heart open and truly meaning it. Same words, completely different energy. That's the power of intention. Intention is the spark that makes the words come to life. And when you bring intention into your language, you become a conscious spellcaster. Instead of repeating whatever comes out of your mouth by habit, you start aligning your words with your heart, your desires, and your truth. And here's where people sometimes get stuck. They think intention has to be this big, elaborate thing, but it doesn't. Intention is simply the energy you put behind your words. It's the clarity, it's the focus, the choice to mean what you say. Because intention doesn't have to be loud or dramatic to be powerful. Sometimes it's the quietest, simplest intention that carries the strongest magic. Here's a practice you can try. Every morning, before you dive into your day, pick one clear intention. Not I should or I want to, but something present and powerful. Try, I choose peace today, or I am open to receiving, or I walk in confidence. Even if it feels tender, even if you don't fully believe it, speak it out loud. Speak it into the room. Because here's the magic. The more you speak it, the more your subconscious mind begins to believe it. And when your subconscious gets on board, your energy shifts. You start noticing opportunities that match your intention. You start aligning your actions with the spell you've cast. That's the bridge between words and reality. Intention. Without it, language is just noise. With it, language becomes creation. So when you speak this week, pause for a moment and ask yourself, what intention am I weaving into these words? That 1 second of awareness can change everything. Now, let's go deeper into the place where spells are constantly being cast without us even noticing it. Self-talk. That little voice in your head, it's not chatter, it's spell work. Every time you repeat a phrase about yourself, you're etching it deeper into your being. If you're constantly telling yourself, I'm so tired, I never have enough time, I'm not good enough, I can't figure this out, those are the curses that you're laying down on your own path. They might feel casual, but they're powerful. And the wild part is, many of those spells weren't even yours to begin with. They were planted there by somebody else. A parent, a teacher, a boss, an old relationship. Somewhere along the way, you picked up those words and started repeating them. And now you're the one enforcing the spell. But here's the great news. Spells can be broken. They can be rewritten. Start by noticing. Catch yourself with one phrase you say often about yourself. Maybe it's, oh, I always mess this up, or I'm not creative, or I'll never get ahead. Pause. Ask yourself, is this the spell that I want to keep casting? Then reframe it. Try, I'm learning as I go, or creativity flows through me in my own way, or I'm open to opportunities that support me. It might feel awkward at first, but that's because you're rewiring. You're dismantling an old spell and laying down a new one. This is where quantum human design gives us such a beautiful lens. 2 centers in particular that show us how we shape our inner dialogue, our G center, or our heart, and the will center. The G center is all about love, identity, and direction. If your G center is defined, you usually have a steady sense of who you are and where you're going. The spells you cast about yourself tend to stick, for better or for worse. So if you say, this is who I am, people feel that. But if the words you're repeating are limiting, they can also keep you locked in a storyline that does not serve you. If your G center is undefined or open, your words about identity might shift depending on who you're around. You're fluid and adaptable. That's not a flaw. It's part of your magic. You're designed to try on different directions and expressions of love. The key is to notice what feels true in the moment and not to force yourself to define who you are with permanent words. Then we have the will center. This is about value and worth. And when it's defined, your words about what you'll commit to and what you're worth carry weight. I will do this comes with a power behind it. When it's undefined, there's more fluctuation. You might find yourself doubting your worth or overpromising. And all the words you use around value can either reinforce the old conditioning, that I can't, I'm not enough, I'll never measure up, or they can free you. I am worthy because I exist. My value isn't measured by what I achieve. I honor my own rhythm. So notice how your words interact with these centers. They're either anchoring you in love and worth, or they're pulling you away from it. And the choice of spells you speak make all the difference. If you're someone who likes evidence, science backs this up. Words aren't just poetic. They're actual vibrations that move through the air, land in our ears, and ripple through the nervous system. You may have heard of Emoto's water experiments. He showed that words like love and gratitude created these beautiful water crystals, while words like hate and anger created fractured, chaotic ones. Here's the fascinating part. Our bodies are roughly 60% water, and that means the words we hear and the words we speak ripple through us at a cellular level. Neuroscience confirms it. Positive affirmations reduce stress hormones and increase activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for focus and decision making. Negative words, on the other hand, spike cortisol and trigger a stress response. So when I say words are spells, it's not just mystical. It's biochemical, neurological, and physical. Every phrase you repeat is shaping your brain, your body, your health, and your reality. Let's bring this into every day, because magic doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need a special moon phase or a fancy altar to weave spell work into your life. It can be woven into the smallest moments. Maybe you stir your coffee clockwise in the morning and whisper, I invite clarity and joy into my day. Or you write a word of power in your journal every morning and you let that word guide you. You could light a candle at dinner and speak gratitude into the flame. Or you can take a walk and share your dreams with the trees. Even mirror work is a powerful daily ritual, looking at yourself and saying, I love you, I see you. It sounds simple, but it's deeply potent. Because if words from strangers can shape us for a lifetime, imagine the magic the words spoken by you, to you, with love will do. Spell work doesn't have to stop at home. You can carry it with you through your day. Try sticky note spells, little affirmations like I am safe, I am magnetic, or I am worthy. Post it on your mirror, fridge, or dashboard. Every time you see them, read them aloud. Or set alarms on your phone with powerful words as a label. Imagine your phone buzzing at 2:22 with the reminder, I trust myself. Even chores can become spell work. Folding laundry? Whisper gratitude for the body that wears these clothes. Washing dishes? Offer a quiet prayer for nourishment. And in quantum human design, this everyday magic is deeply tied to your throat center, the center of expression, communication, and manifestation. It's literally the place where thoughts and feelings turn into form. If your throat is defined, your words carry a steady signature. People recognize your voice and your energy, which means that the spells you repeat consistently hold a lot of power. If your throat is undefined or open, your voice may feel more changeable. You might sound different in different environments or feel like words don't always flow the same way, but that's your gift. You can channel many voices and many truths. The key is to wait until the timing feels right so that your words carry the intention you want them to. So whether your throat is defined or undefined, every time you speak, you're casting. That's why the rituals matter, because through your throat, you're giving energy shape. You're making the invisible visible, and you're speaking reality into being. So today we've explored how words are spells, how intention fuels them, how self-talk creates the reality we live in, how your G center, will center shape the stories you carry about your identity and worth, and how your throat gives form to your magic in the world. Here's my invitation for you this week. Choose one daily spell. Maybe it's a phrase you repeat in the morning. Maybe it's stirring your tea with intention. Maybe it's catching yourself in a negative phrase and flipping it into something empowering. And let's see how it feels. See what shifts. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I love creating this space with you, and I hope you walk away today remembering just how powerful your words truly are. Until next time, speak your spells with love, live with intention, and create your vibrant life.